If you have an inspiring story that you want to share, or a business or agency that you're running, or if you even wrote a book, anything that you're proud of that you just want to share with the world, you can reach us because we can help you share that story and share your passions and tell your story. You can find us at our website at madmediatv.com. You can also follow us on Instagram and YouTube at It's Mad Media TV. And you can also find us on Facebook at Mad Media TV. So tune in and connect with us.
Welcome everyone to Mad Media TV. I'm your host, Autumn McLeod, and today we have the pleasure of featuring a remarkable individual who is making waves in the community, and her name is Lucina Clarke. Lucina brings over 25 years of experience as a special educator, and in recent years, she has dedicated her efforts to a profoundly meaningful cause. Together with her husband, Wayne Clarke, they co-founded My Time, Inc., where Lucina serves as executive director. The organization is committed to providing a nurturing environment for parents, grandparents, and advocates caring for individuals with autism and developmental disabilities. But Lucina's impact doesn't stop there. She has also authored the D.I.V.A.S Discovery Journal, a publication designed to empower women to embrace their authenticity by stepping beyond their comfort zones. Let's extend a warm welcome to Lucina Clarke as she joins us today. Hi, Lucina. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Miss Autumn. It's a pleasure.
Talk to me about how your journey as a special educator began.
Oh my gosh, journey 30 years ago, bringing me back to my 20s. You know, I started this journey as a social worker, really understanding, you know, that concept of working with individuals, with children with special needs. And I decided, you know what, I did my first internship at this hospital. And while working there, I was thrown into the thrones of children who are diagnosed with emotional disturbance. And while doing that, I decided to love it. I really fell in love with it. And then I started doing my internship because I started to go to Brooklyn College to get my special ed degree, although I wanted to do regular education. So during the course of my career in understanding special ed and regular education, I fell in love with regular education. And then I said, you know what, working with these challenging kids, I have to get my degree in special ed. So I moved into that realm of special ed by working with children who were really emotionally challenged back then. And that journey took me to LIU, where I got my master's in learning disabilities. And while working at this very special school, I learned that there are so many different types of disabilities. And I fell in love with the autism spectrum individuals and other kids with other behavioral issues. So I decided to get my degree, my master's in special education.
Wow. Well, first of all, I know Brooklyn College is a good school because my mom went there, so, you know, I might have a little bias. Yeah, that's awesome. So tell me more about My Time, Inc. How did you and your husband conceptualize this and bring to life the vision for this organization?
Oh my gosh, that journey was a sad journey at the beginning. My years of teaching brought me to working with families of children at home. You know, working with a child, I was doing my behavior analysis degree. And while doing that, I was learning about behavioral techniques to teach parents how to work with their children at home. So my journey began in this wonderful home of this amazing woman I'll call Miss B. And Miss B had these two children, but one was her son, W. He was so awesome. I mean, the most beautiful young boy you could have seen, but he was diagnosed with autism. And I became a behavioral therapist, learning different behavioral techniques so mom can be able to raise her son at home. Decreasing the behaviors and using different modalities to teach the child. And one day, mom was not feeling well. Mom was such a fighter, and her role as an advocate to get the resources, to get the sessions and the classes for your son was really, really painstaking. One of the things I learned as being a parent of a child with a disability is the support system that they needed. Mom wasn't having as much of that. So it was so hard to get the type of support needed, getting the right classes, the right sessions, the right schools. So one day mom got very ill, and she'd been having this progressive illness. And I got there one afternoon to her home, and she wasn't feeling well. She's like, Lucina, you know what? You don't have to stay today. I don't feel that well. I'm like, you sure? I can still stay a little bit. She said, no, go home. When I got home, I got a phone call that mom passed away. It was so sad, and that really transformed my life. I remember telling my husband, I can't do this. We gotta build or create something that our families can find a support system. So when she passed away, I told my husband, I'm not going back to work. We need to create something. We need to create an organization that supports our parents.
Wow. What are some of the challenges that parents face?
Well, some of the challenges is really the acceptance sometimes. Some of the challenges within their own family, just even accepting or embracing the diagnosis. No one wants to know that they're having a child with disability. I remember a friend of mine, one of the women who really encouraged me in this my timing, Ms. Isabel, she had said to me, you know what, I didn't ask God for a child with disability. He gave that to me. And I said, you know what, that's your gift. And I think when parents start seeing their children as gifts, I think it's a different light. I know I always put the disclaimer, I don't have a child with disability. I just felt my third baby would have been a child with disability. I just had that weird feeling, that intuition. So even embracing that aspect of having a child with disability is quite painstaking for some of the families. So what I felt, we need to create an atmosphere where parents can come together, connect with one another, because they have the same feeling of raising a child with disability, even unique in their own ways. Each child is different, but the circumstances you're raising a child with disability. So how can I find that support? So I remember coming home, and I work within this school for kids with special needs. It was Purim, it was March 5th, 2007. And I'm sitting there telling my husband, we need to do something. We need to create something. He's like, you sure? Because my kids were in college, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's going to be expensive, leaving my job and doing this. I remember getting up and going on the computer and just writing, what is parent support? What does that look like? How do I think I can create something like our parents feel safe enough to come to? And I said, what was the name? My husband is the one who named it My Time Inc. Because you're saying it's your time. Because most of the programs are for the children. There are not as many programs for the parents. So that's the uniqueness of our program. It focuses on you, the parent, your emotional well-being, your self-care, because when you become a caregiver, you totally forget about you. Your whole life surrounds your child with disability. Sometimes you even forget you have a husband or even have other children who are the siblings, and it becomes a lot on you. And then I was seeing the frustration of parents not getting the resources from the educational system or the governmental system. So I told my husband, we have a three family, and I said, you know what, let's make a space for these families. Once a month, they can come, I love to cook, have a nice little dinner, and have resources for them. And it became so amazing. We crawl before we walk, and we had parents coming once a month, meeting other parents. I'll have people coming from different organizations and agencies and bring the resources. And then I said one day, they gotta be educated, but they gotta play. We gotta do something more. Started doing little meals and having them come have little socials. And then we started going out, because half of the time our families, they don't have that social piece. They forget about going out and having a good time because their mind is so focused on the child, they have lost themselves.
Wow. And I know, speaking of going out, you had mentioned to me off camera, but I want you to share, what are some of the events and stuff or outings that you do for the parents?
Oh my gosh, what I love is when we go to Broadway shows, we all dressed up and we go to the city and we have a Broadway show, or if we go just for lunch, or go to what they have, the island right there in Manhattan on West 14th Street by the West Side Highway, just going out to have lunch and connecting. The most is when they put on their dresses and we just go to the city and have a nice little dinner. Those are things that they forget. The best is also going to a spa, going to get your nails done, doing the things that make you feel good. And those are the things I love to see when they walk in here. And their life is so different. But meeting other women like themselves, or the fathers connecting with the fathers, but the mothers developing new friendships. It is so beautiful to see the transformation of some of these women.
Did you feel like there was a lack of resources for parents or caretakers of children with autism and other developmental disabilities?
There are resources, how to find it, but the lack of parent support was such a thing in my heart, because parent support don't have to be therapeutical. It could be girlfriend support, woman support. How can I connect with you and feel so amazing when I leave that conversation? When I talk about my child, you can relate to me, because most of the time you cannot, when you have a child with disability, the friends you have before does not even understand. When you're saying, oh, my child is not potty trained and your child is potty trained, how are they understanding that? The nights when you're crying and they don't understand why you're crying. Oh, well, your kids are doing this, but why your children are a gift still, but no. It's really how they're seeing themselves. And the support is finding a right group of women or an organization that can provide and say, I see you. I see you as that parent. Because we don't wear a sign on our back that, oh, you're a parent of a child with disability, that's all right. We see you. When you come to my timing, we see you for who you are.
What's usually some of the feedback that you get from parents?
Oh my gosh, I remember when we first got this new space, gorgeous space, and they came in and they were like, oh my gosh. One of the things I tell anyone who comes to visit as you were coming in, from the moment you enter 640 Parkside, it's a transformation, it's a new experience. You walking through this marble hallway. I say you walk through it with love. Then you get to the elevator, you press the 5th floor, and you get out of the 5th floor, you can make a left turn, you have that beautiful terrace, then you walk down the marble hallway, and then you come into the room and you feel, oh my gosh, then you see the bright windows, because if you see in my office, I always have my shades up, so the sunlight just hits you. You know what it's like to feel that ray of sun just hitting your face when you walk, and you may have all of this on your shoulder, but you walk and you see the ray of sunlight, the smell, the aroma of the space. It is the most rewarding, exciting, exhilarating feeling that anyone can ever have, because you see the transformation of the smile when they open that door to come into the room.
And even outside, it's raining right now. As soon as I stepped into this building, it was like sunlight coming through here. So
it's the feel.
Yes.
It's the feel. I think, when our families go through a lot, especially when you have to do it on your own. Most of our families, most of the percentage of women who have a child with disability are single women. Or they may have gone through divorce and they're raising 2 or 3 children by themselves. Or even if the husband is around, I don't want to call it a burden. Most of what needs to be done is the parent, the mom. So knowing that they have this task at hand, it can take a lot. Just changing their mindset of how they deal with their child, or even how you deal with yourself. I tell my parents, how are you setting your mind every morning, or the gratitude in dealing with your child? Because the behaviors, autism is a neurological disorder. It affects the children's communication skills. Some of our kids are totally nonverbal, non-speaking. Some of the kids, they can't tell you what they want. Some are very active. Some of them are very creative. Look around the room, the artwork. All of the artwork that we have in this room are by individuals who are on the spectrum. So as you take a look around, you see the magnificent, beautiful artistry, amazing paintings that you have ever seen. So this is my joy and pride, coming in the morning, my little safe haven. I come in, I look around at the magnificence, and I tell the parents, you look at your child, you look at the strength in your child, because most of our children who are on the spectrum, they are either artists, musicians, architects, they're amazing beings. So when I am so blessed to come here in the morning, this is my space that I come in. I'm like, wow, and I love it because other people can come and enjoy the serenity of the space. But even as a parent understanding, I tell people through my social work experience, we go through the deaths, the grieving. You go through the stages of death, the grieving part, the oh my gosh, I can't believe this is my child. Until we get to the acceptance stage. We have the denial and then the acceptance stage. I love when the families start going into that acceptance. So I don't always say acceptance, I say the embracing stage. Wow. You see the lightness in the families. You just see that joy that even though my child may have the disability, my child is a beautiful gift.
Gift from God.
It is. It's awesome.
And another thing that I really love about your organization is the blog that you have. I saw a really cool article about how to build a safe backyard for children or a child on the autism spectrum.
I give credit to my husband. He does the newsletter, and he's so good at that. So some people read our newsletter. It's really an awesome newsletter. It informs the parents a lot, and sometimes people contact us, like parents of a child with disability, and say, I have a great article. And he will oblige, especially if it's a great article, because you want people to want to have different resources. And that's what we're all about. MyTime Inc. is going to be that most amazing resource center that embraces the families, provides support. Yeah, there will be challenges, but to provide a space that is safe enough for them to come. Get good information from that, because sometimes you may have a backyard, it's concrete, you may get the things that you need. How can you set up so your child can have that quality of life in your own home?
Right. Not only do you, empower the parents of children who have developmental needs, but you empower women in general. And I want to talk about your amazing book, the D.I.V.A.S Discovery Journal. Please talk to me about how this came about.
Oh my gosh, because of these awesome women that I work with and the awesome women that I serve. Because I tell people, when I serve them in excellence, humility, grace, and love. And this happened during COVID. When we were all locked up in our homes, but yet, even at MyTime Inc., we were still doing evening parent support groups. We'll do on Mondays and Thursday nights from 7 to 9. And then one day, I'm looking at my parents, I'm seeing the beauty, but I can see the sadness in some of their eyes. And some of them has lost that sense of, I'm a woman, I'm a fabulous woman, I'm a beautiful woman. And one day during the COVID, I remember looking at something on internet, and I saw this class. It's called Pen to Publish. And I said, Pen to Publish? Creating your own journal. I've never done this. This journal was created in 7 days. Wow. Created, published, and everything. I was like, and I said, what can I do? What am I learning from these awesome women? And I realized we are divas. And the men, I call the men divas. And I said, being a diva doesn't mean the type of diva out there, like you're all like, think you're better than someone else. But you're a diva in the way you're discovering who you are, how you're investing yourself in yourself. V is variety. Are you open-minded? Because some of us are not open-minded in exploring our own selves. And A is for being authentic. We talk about, oh yes, you're authentic, you're true, honest. How authentic we really are. And S is self. That's one of the most important things in being a diva, in the divas, because we forget self. So the diva is discovering you and investing in you in a variety of ways, and you becoming and knowing your true authentic self. So in the journal, I started doing things about the mirror, looking in the mirror. Some of us don't like to look into a mirror. We don't like what we see. And doing this discovery journey, the experience is what you want. And this journal transformed my life. I've always been a big girl. I love being who I am. I love myself, but I need to take care of who I am as well. And I started walking. I love walking because where I live, we have a little ocean, a little river, whatever, under the bridge. And I started doing the walking. And while I was walking, I was discovering me. It was me. I'm that beautiful woman, that beautiful black woman who God has created. You know, I always use my Psalm 139. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. How marvelous is the work. And I started discovering my true me. It didn't care if I had lumps or bumps or whatever whatever it is. I saw me. I saw the beauty in who I am. I saw the intelligent person, the affirmation of who I am. I'm an intelligent being. I am a conqueror. And I wanted my parents to see that. You know, as women, when we take in the load on everyone's shoulder, our shoulder is so weighted down that we forget our worth. We forget our value. And this was the whole thing. I am going to discover me, and I have to walk that journey. I have to be in that experience. I cannot teach you something that I'm not doing. So I got my journey in starting to lose the weight and just being healthier in all aspects. That was the best summer ever, you know, in just creating this. Even though it was COVID time, January, February, by the springtime, I was walking even when it was like 40 degrees because I felt the urge to do that. Yeah, I fell out of the wagon, but I got back again in discovering who I am and knowing that I have to invest and teaching the parents. My parents, when we do things, we have nutritional classes. You know, last week we made like sauerkraut and we made like underarm and soaps and deodorants and all these different things because I want them to see the beauty inside of themselves. Because sometimes most of the families, when they look at their child, they think they're broken. And that's why people, when you look at the autism symbol, the puzzle, some people don't like it anymore. Some of the individuals who are diagnosed with, on the spectrum doesn't like the puzzle because we look as though like, who am I? You don't know who I am? Because a puzzle, you have to put it in the right pieces together. And sometimes some parents feel like they have made a broken child or having a child with disability is something broken. And they will look at fixing. And I tell parents, it's not about fixing. It's what are you doing, your mindset, how are you transforming your life to giving your child the quality of life that he or she deserves. So this was really an eye-opening for myself as well in investing in me. Now I get up like 4:30. I'm leaving home 4:30 in the morning to go to the gym. You think I want to get up 4:30 to get in somebody's car to go to the gym? No, but I have to do it for me. So as I'm teaching the families I serve and the women, I'm emotionally investing in myself. I am mentally investing in myself, in my self-care, and the physical self-care, getting the better rest. I mean, I used to be running around so much and I realized, no, I can't do that. I have to give myself rest too.
Wow. You know, that's beautiful. And another thing that I really love about this journal is the fact that you can even write in it and you can answer thought-provoking questions that you have. So what inspired you to make it an interactive journal?
You know, I think sometimes as women, we are secretive, we are personal, we are private. And writing what you really feel, because sometimes you will not say it to your own girlfriends. You need that privacy sometimes. You need to be still and know who you are. And sometimes just writing, just sit there with your glass of wine, your cup of chocolate, whatever it is, or eating your bonbons, or whatever you want to do, and just sit and pour out who you are. Especially when you start talking about your emotional self and your mental self-care, because whatever you think, you feel. And people don't like to put those two together, because if I think I'm lousy, guess what? I'm going to feel lousy. If I think I'm so fabulous and outrageously beautiful, I'm going to feel that way. I'm going to just dress that way. I'm going to be that queen that I want to be. And if you have to write that in your book and keep it to yourself and read whenever you want, it's yours. Feel free. Feel free to get that little mirror and look at yourself while you're doing it. just let your mind flow, your heart, your spirit, and your soul, because you are that mother, you are that wife, and first of all, you are that parent of that child, that you have to every single day be at your utmost best to provide for that child. So that's why the My Time In comes about. It's for you parent, for you caregiver, who needs that special place, who knows when you come here, you're not judged. So that is what the divas I brought into my life. And for the men, I just did the divos. I mean, someone said, I said, yes, men want to write too, but it's such a beautiful cover. It's such a beautiful book that the man will feel proud to walk with it in their hand, because you don't know it's a journal you're writing in. So, I mean, this journal thing has just opened up my way of learning. I have a wonderful friend, Lavon. She always say journal. I say, I'm going to journalize, make my own word, journalize. Journalize the way I feel, good, bad, or indifferent. Not every day I'm going to have a good day, but at least I can sit down and write about my day. And what did I get from it? But even despite the writing, I always start to begin with gratitude. What are you grateful for? Just do one word of gratitude for just being in that moment, to have a journal to write in, to feel that I can pour what I need to pour. And if you want to share, you share it. That's your right to share if you want to. If you want to be private, that's okay too.
You are truly dropping some gems right now.
Thank you. It's so important to encourage each other, because so often we are never saying a good word to one another. We'll try and find a fault. Why don't you compliment? Like, I love your color. I'm a makeup. I love makeup, and I love the color you're wearing. Or give a positive comment to someone. Some of you just have to give a smile. So you don't have to say anything. You look at someone and you just give a smile by the eyes, the contact. And you say, you know what? I feel good. It is amazing. We need to do more of that. Like my friend was talking about Shirley Chisholm, and she was saying when she was running to be a president, I mean, people were like, oh, no, you can't do it, and then for the color of your skin or whatever. But what Shirley did, she took a chair and she put it up to the table. And my friend said, you know what? They don't want you at the table, build your table. And on top of it, bring your chair too and put it right by the table and sit there. So when we as women, we cannot keep our voices still anymore. As women, as mothers, as caregivers, it's okay to say, you know what, I need to take care of myself. I am being unapologetic in taking me. So this journal has encouraged every woman out there to be courageous, step out, be bold. You know what, it's okay to take the lashes, as I say sometimes, but you gotta have your voice. Use your voice. There's time, yes, we want our voice to be still, but there are times that we need to use our voice. Acknowledge, be unapologetic in doing you.
Wow, I truly love that.
Listen, it's amazing.
What exciting developments lie ahead for My Time Inc.?
Well, one of the amazing things is that April is Autism Awareness Month. We hold a few events during that time. One of the most amazing events is really about lighting up blue. We light candles blue to represent the awareness of autism. Well, April 14th, we are having our Breakfast with the Chef. It is a community breakfast where the parents, the children, and the community come together with some chefs from the Ritz-Carlton, makes this amazing meal. It's not the Ritz-Carlton anymore, it's W's, but these are wonderful chefs who have volunteered their time for the past 15 years preparing a meal for the family. So that's an exciting thing coming up. And another exciting news is a few weeks ago, we got a phone call from Senator Chuck Schumer's office with we are in the congressional district with our district congressperson is Yvette Clarke and Hakeem Jeffries. And we were just blessed through the appropriation bill, which was signed by the president. We were given My Time Inc. $500,000 to create that special parent support and resource center where parents from all around New York City can come, share, laugh, bring joy, connect with one another, and find the resources in how do I raise my child with autism when he's special needs. This place is going to be so awesome. You know, what we have created for the past few years is a place where parents can come and feel, I belong. A lot of our parents doesn't feel they belong in certain places. They are all alone. So having this resource center will be such an amazing feat. You know, at my time, we have created a very special place for children and their parents, but mainly the parents getting the resources they need for their children. It's all about you, the parent. It's all about you having a very special place where you feel as though you belong.
Congratulations. That is amazing news, and you guys deserve it.
Oh, thank you. It's very exciting. After 17 years of a vision that you have been creating in your mind all the time and to see it come into fruition, I know it will be a little challenge because grants are different. So you have to know what the specification of the grants, what can be done, what cannot be done. But just the idea of creating a parent support center in Brooklyn, woo! I'm excited. And my husband, you know, I mean, I have to give him a lot of, oh my gosh, he has been my support in all of this. And he volunteers his time here. He gives up himself every single day. He's so committed to the parents. And I say to him, are you the executive director? I am. You know, because he's really, really involved. And I have to really publicly thank him for the support and believing in the vision and the dream we have of uplifting our parents, you know, educating them, you know, supporting them, empowering them, and giving them the tools that they can have the quality of life with their children.
Thank you so much, Lucina, for chatting with me today and for the amazing work that your organization is doing. For more information on My Time Inc., please visit mytimeinc.org. You can also check out the D.I.V.A.S Discovery Journal on Amazon. My name is Autumn McLeod, and this is Mad Media TV signing off.